Here they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is four deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to another big edition of Talking Trots. We're back after a week off. Well, I'm back anyway after a week off. Mortz is still on his sojourn overseas, another couple of weeks away. And as we head into the big two-year-old races and all the excitement that comes with the end of season and group races, kicking off with the Diamond Classic this week, looks like a great start to a season. And to chat all things harness racing, I'm joined this week by Glen Moore.
Yeah, thanks, Rad.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much
for coming
indeed. Yep, looking forward to our discussion tonight. We've got Ryan Bell coming in, and we can discuss in detail his starters, and particularly, of course, the two-year-old Diamond Classic, $100,000 Group 2 race.
Yes, we got Diamond Classic, Pearl Classic next week. The heats were pretty good on Tuesday.
Yeah, very impressed with the colts. They're really coming along nicely. Some promising horses for the future there. Very exciting next week. The heats went pretty much to pattern. Massimo is probably the one that knocked the favourite off, which not entirely surprising actually, but did the big job to get over the favourite there. And most of the heats went pretty much to pattern of the speed maps though, but very, very good final.
Yeah, sure is. And we're going to kick off our big two-year-old races this week, and it is the Trots in two-year-old Diamond Classic fillies. Better Get On Pip has drawn the pole. Open 225 with Tab Touch. Touch 270 back into 265. Holds the call. Copperhead Lady. She opened 390. She's had good support into $3. Both trained by Ryan Bell. We're about to speak to Ryan, but before we do so, let's go back to about 9 days ago to the heats of the Diamond Classic, and this was a really good race. Better Get On Pip was in front, but Queen of All gave her a real race.
Up to the turn, Better Get On Pip is holding Queen of All as they've broken clear of Kinky. Poppy's Last Dance, Stella Delicios are at the head of the others as money well spent. Better Get On Pip, Queen of All the outside. Better Get On Pip holds Queen of All. They're well clear of the rest. Kinky, Poppy's Last Dance. Better Get On Pip, Queen of All tries the outside. Better Get On Pip, Better Get On Pip holds Queen of All, and Better Get On Pip over Queen of All, and they'd race well clear.
Yeah, she held on Better Get On Pip, and we say hello to her trainer, Ryan Bell. Ryan, welcome to the program.
Yeah, cheers, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Few little worries in the home straight there for Better Get On Pip, mate, but she pulled out plenty and got the cash.
Yeah, she seems to do that. Only waits for him to get to her, and then she seems to kick under pressure. It can be a good thing. It might be her undoing as well. Like, she'll probably be one of those horses that gets beat by a swooper because she seems only fine when they're right next to her. So, but she's doing a good job so far, and I can't see why she won't keep doing a good job.
Yeah, Ryan, thanks for joining us. Clearly, this $100,000 Diamond Classic is very much a very even race. Let's say you've got the barrier draws 1 and 2. It's very hard probably for you to separate your two runners. The barrier draw advantage to the one horse here, Better Get On Pip. Clear intention for you to hold the lead here with the one horse, Better Get On Pip?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we'll put them both on the arm and they can both run the gate. Better Get On Pip's probably more natural out the gate than what Copperhead Lady is, but Copperhead Lady, I don't think she's ever drawn. I think the only time she's drawn the front line is in the DeCampo Memorial, and she came out with them. So, from the middle of the pack. But yeah, Better Get On Pip will definitely be trying to hold up. And you don't really want to get shuffled too far back, I guess, with Copperhead Lady, given the fact that there might be a couple go forward, because there's going to be sort of a feeling that if you grab up and go back with a couple of Ruby Lavera, Winter Wonder, for example, if they go back, the pace may go off if Copperhead Lady's just outside the leader and dictating. Yeah, I'm not. Copperhead Lady's a bit more adaptable than what Better Get On Pip is. Aiden can just. I've never really given Aiden instructions on Copperhead Lady. I've just let him do his own thing. And when I was watching the heat the other day, and when he come off early, I was like, okay. And then when he took off at the 700, I was biting my teeth together.
Yeah, it got shuffled back
he was
a bit,
bit
didn't it?
ambitious, but I was very impressed with the way Copperhead Lady put them away at the furlong. And then when Aiden come in and said she absolutely jogged it in, she's given me a great deal of confidence that she can just win the race no matter how it's presented, where Better Get On Pip's best chance of winning will be out in front.
So you're not really worried about being shuffled back a bit on the scenario of the heat where it got shuffled back, came off the fence, ended up 1 out and 2 back, loomed at the 500 metre mark and put him away.
Yeah, not really. But at the same token, I can only imagine that Aiden won't be wanting to give too much away.
No.
I haven't really spoken to Aiden, but I can only imagine that he would want to come out with them. And the only one I'm worried about that could probably really push the button early is Winter Wonder.
Yep.
She's pretty quick, and I quite like that filly from what I've seen. And look, you'd have to speak to Aiden in the parade room because he'll just do his own thing as he always does. So, but Copperhead Lady, I'm going forward. I'm quite excited about her.
Well, they started the season off. You Quinella the Sales Classic final with these two. Have they continued to develop pretty much at the same speed, or have you got a leaning towards one?
Yeah, I've always leant towards Copperhead Lady just because she just doesn't do anything on the bridle. Like she just nothing phases her. She's not a great track worker, but neither is Better Get On Pip. They seem to only do what they want to do. But Copperhead Lady is one that if you really got up her, she'll put in. But if you just let her do her own thing, she won't put in. But she never grabs a bit. Where Better Get On Pip, she can get up on the chewy a wee bit, sometimes a bit too much, which is probably what got her beat in the Sales Classic. Kyle said she really tugged on in the middle stages of the Sales race, and he reckons it got her beat a bit. They're two different types of filly. But yeah, I can't complain about either one of them, really, can I?
And the Barry draws worked out pretty well for you?
Yeah, that's very kind, very kind.
Got to get one once in a while.
It doesn't happen often, but we've been lucky so far, especially Better Get On Pip. She's been very lucky with the Barry draws, so hopefully that's not the last of them.
They might be concerned about the ownership group complaining because there's plenty of them. Got to keep them happy.
Yeah, Tim was on some show the other day, and I listened to the names he rattled off, and I was like, geez, I hope I get to meet some of them one day. There's a fair few of them. But she's actually, Tiff picked her out in the sale. She's always wanted a betting line filly the same type as what are the odds is, and I was totally against it considering what are the odds has put us through, and she's done good. Tiff, she's picked 2 horses, what are the odds, and now Better Get On Pip. So and she got all the owners, so she holds credit for that. Oh,
they're having plenty of fun, and Tim Gossage was on Tab Radio on Monday, and it was a great interview. And let's move on to about what are the odds. He's nothing if not consistent and never runs a bad race. Yeah,
you're dead right. He's even when he hasn't been right, he's never run a bad race. He's a total head case, and that's putting it politely. He's just and not ability wise, he's never denied any ability, but he's just never healthy. We finally got him healthy, and he that characteristic that he showed last week, he's done that a few times when he's drawn barrier one throughout his career. Junior drove him once when he looked like getting crossed when he shouldn't have, because he lugged up the track. He did it for Aiden when he led. I think, was it first up this prep or something like that? And he did it for me in a Derby prelude, I think it was, as a 3-year-old. But he only seems to do it when he draws barrier one and when he's on the rail. I don't know why he does it. He does it in track work when he leads up as well. He just lugs up the track, but in behind he's gun barrel straight, and he's a weirdo.
Yeah, and that's exactly the question I was going to ask you about. Was it just the barrier one situation? Because there are horses that do that from barrier one, and you've answered that question quite clearly. And clearly you would have been unhappy to get crossed, but what are the odds? Still went terrifically well, didn't he? Like, he closed late. His other runs have been all magnificent as well, bar probably the one run against Coney Island Lou, where you pointed out perhaps he was a bit underdone in preparation for that race last Friday. Clearly, last Friday, the way he got to the line, you'd still maybe give him some chance here, albeit the very awkward draw with crowd control and Bet the House drawn 3. They look to sort of dictate this race, don't they? How do you see yourself getting into this race?
Yeah, I think we just got to drive him to how he was getting driven his 3 previous starts. Just go back and use his speed late to try and finish in the top 4. I think that's all we can. The way the fit. This is a bloody good MO. I don't think we've seen
top class.
Less than 40,000 with such depth. And it would. I know crowd control's drawn 1 and Bet the House, but I've always been a huge fan of Strike Team, and he first up for 2 years last week. You could not have been more impressive than what he did last week. So, this is a real good field. So we just got to hope that they touch each other up at some stage in the race, and we're closing late. And
you look at Bunbury, where he gave them a massive start at Bunbury, didn't he, off the track in the heat of the Higgins, and pulled out 4 deep. Very unlucky not to win. He got checked up the track on the corner, cost him momentum, and then absolutely flew home against the eventual winner, El Cerradere, of the Higgins. That was a magnificent run, and previous runs where he's got a card into the race. He's lethal, isn't he, with his sprint?
Yeah, he is, and I always thought that, but if you go back through his record as a 2-year-old, he always drew in the middle of the pack where we had to be up on the pace, and then he obviously had an interrupted 3-year-old and 4-year-old campaign with his health issues, and I sent him to Sydney, and Luke had the same problem trying to get him healthy and ended up sending him back home after 10 months, and then he nearly died on me twice since he's been home, and blah, 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 blah. But I've always said his speed is his asset, and it was just a bonus that he was able to have a bit of grit about him when he was a younger horse as well. But I think going forward, his speed's going to get him a long way.
The other horse you've got, the fast class race, Codebreaker, obviously racing well without luck. He's not really a playmaker, is he, in this class? But you got the barrier to take advantage of here, at least initially.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's won a free-for-all race, but he's just unlucky that the programming is like it is now. Back in the old days, he probably would have been a winter free-for-all superstar. But
it's pretty tough.
Now the way the calendar is, it's the Cups horses are around all year round, So because they're all having different preps at different times. So, he's going to be an opportunist, and he's going to win another free-for-all one day. I'm just not sure if it's Friday night, but the one thing I am confident of on Friday is he'll hold up easy early, and he can pick and choose who he's going to sit on if he wants to sit on something.
Your gut feeling at this stage is you'd probably sit on Tenzing Bromac. Would that be the most likely outcome?
To be honest, I would say yes, but I can't really remember the field and who's drawn where.
Also, still the show's in 6, who might press the issue with you.
Yep.
Who's that, sorry?
Steal the show.
It's drawn 6.
We definitely won't be handing to him.
Okay, so you made that clear. That's fair enough too. Mickey Taker probably won't be there.
Well, I think there comes a time where we all know, he's not a genuine cups free for a horse. But at the same token, when you draw barriers and you know he's a bit of a roller, we've got to back ourselves at some stage. So, and give the horse an opportunity to prove himself, So,
yeah, sure.
But yeah, the way Tenzing Bromack returned last week, geez.
Yeah.
It's looking good for him, isn't it?
Certainly.
Yeah, very good. In the 4 and 5 year old mares, you got Pocket the Change for the Walmsleys.
Yeah, again, she's doing a huge job. Like, she's her 5th run in 8 weeks off of having 18 months off, or just shy of 18 months off. And she's going forward after this prep, once I can give her a month off and get back, I think she's a good quality mare going forward. Like, if she had drawn 1 or 2 and to lead, I would be telling Aiden to hold it and give her every chance, and I reckon they'd have some trouble getting past it. She's pretty tough when she's out in front. She'll roll all day, but unfortunately the 2 underneath us have got exceptional gate speed, and that puts us in a tricky spot. So she's a top 5 player.
Okay.
Ryan, who's the dad? A horse that's, you could say, was raced without any luck whatsoever. Drawn the 2 this time with a 1 horse, a sit and kick horse. Are you confident that you can hold everything to your outside?
Yeah, he definitely will. He's been holding them, Glenn. He just does it. He gets 3/4 on them, and then unless you really scrub the ears off him, he won't go on with it.
And you put the hood on?
Yeah, I've got
Sweet.
the hood on. I worked him with the hood on the other day, and he was real sharp
Okay.
with it on, and I'll be telling Aiden to give him a
No prisoners.
sprint up, and if he leads and doesn't win on Friday, well, then he'll be returning to sender.
Yeah, that's an ideal race for him, really, isn't it? Given the fact that his best form is well and truly up to winning this race. You might, I don't know what they'll do with Ideal Tomato. It's got gate speed occasionally, they launch. But other than that, I didn't really think there was So Firestones alongside you. I would have thought you could hold up with the hood on, and particularly with Aiden DeCampo on board.
Yeah, I think so. I think, there's been nothing wrong with the way he's initially leaving the gate. It's just once he gets to that corner. But what helps us on Friday is American Bullet's got no gate speed at all.
Yep.
So, look, if he got crossed, it won't be from Aiden being asleep at the start. That's for sure. To be because the horse wasn't quick enough. But I just can't see how I've gone through it and to make sure before I made the gear change of putting the hood on that he can't get crossed. And I don't think he'll get crossed.
Okay. The other big gun, Swing Band, what's his situation coming up with the Pacing Cup, obviously, towards the end of the year?
Yeah, he just had a couple of months off. He's in work. Michael Blakemore's jogging him up. He's done a month of swimming, and now he's doing some jogging and swimming. And I'll pick him up at the end of this month and start hobbling him and go from there. We've got a bit of, we'll be around at the last minute. We're just, because he had that bit of a feet problem around the Nullarbor time, and we've had to let the foot regrow a bit, and it seems all good at the moment. And everything's the main aim is the Pacing Cup.
All right, and just before you go, Monday, you got a first starter in the 2-year-old. Pick me for the Charleses.
Oh yeah, what did he draw?
He drew 4. You got Bondi on your outside, all 3 on your outside with Delulu.
That's good. They can stay to our outside.
Bingo.
Nothing's new there.
No. How does Pick Me go?
Yeah, he goes good. He's been ready to go for a while, but he's got real tender feet. I've been getting him ready, and every hobble run leading into his races, he pulls up sore in the feet, and we've got, honestly, he looks like a knighted horse. He's padded up every night, and we soak his feet. Yeah, I've never had one with such tender feet, and no cracks or no nothing structurally broken away on his feet. He just can't handle the concussion. So at the moment, the way we've got him shot, he's good. But ability-wise, I really like him. I think, I think he's got quite a bright future.
Okay, and you've got a Landy Gem returning. How's she going?
Yeah, she's good. She's come back good. She had a throat operation. She had a trapped epiglottis last prep, which is quite promising because she was running some good, honest races, just wasn't quite getting there, and we couldn't work out why. And obviously, she couldn't breathe. So the fact that her form was quite good against some of those good fillies, and the fact that she couldn't breathe, and now we've had the operation, we think we can have quite a good prep with her, and I'm real happy with her track work. She's actually working up with Wave Rider and matching him in track work, which is a pretty good sign.
That was the next question. Wave Rider getting ready for the Derby. Clearly one of the major players. I see Christopher Dance has been brought over from New Zealand for the Derby. He's going to be a player. But when you look at it, it's pretty even.
Yeah, it is. He's quite a nice horse. He's at this stage, he'll probably be starting tomorrow week.
Okay.
Have a run, and then 10 days later is the Westbred Heats. But I'll see how his track work goes on Saturday, and we'll go from there. But I'm pretty happy with where he's at the moment as well.
Very good.
All right, mate, thank you for your time. You've been a wealth of knowledge as always, and the big races are all starting to come in, and no doubt you'll be a big player in a lot of them. So, mate, good luck tomorrow night, particularly in the Diamond Classic, and we'll see you at the track.
All right, guys, appreciate the call.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers.
Good on you, Ryan Bell there, and doesn't he do a good job with the 2-year-olds?
Certainly does. Yeah, no, he's been
with all ages, but 2-year-olds.
Well, he does. He's a good trainer, Ryan, and he gets results, and they're very consistent, hese horses. They generally, if you know what you're going to get when you back them. Yeah,
and just looking for the Tab Touch has got a market out for the Derby. I can't see Wave Rider. He's $7.50. Christopher Dance is $4. Vegas Strip is $5. Sweet Pins is still in the market at $6.50. But you're a part owner of that, and he definitely won't be there.
He won't. No, he's been injured and had a knee operation. He'll be back in work hopefully next year, early next year. Okay,
Bet the House is $7.50, Wave Rider $7.50, Menemsha $9, the filly Waterloo at $13, and then the two Prentice runners, Artful Major and Artful Mickey, $15 and $17 respectively. Also in there is Little Master at $17. So obviously it's a futures market, all in.
Bit early. Tualu's one that probably I think could be shorter than a couple
19?
under it in the market, I would have thought.
Yeah, okay. And
it's pretty even, isn't it?
Yeah, we might see a few resuming shortly as well. There's a few, I think.
Get a better idea.
Getting back to the track. And big news in the last couple of days, Selkie, it's all been happening. Obviously, particularly for the Eureka, Never Ending left on Tuesday. Yep. Is currently in Shepparton and trucks up to Sydney tomorrow. And all has gone well apparently from their side of things, from the Prentice camp and Never Ending. But big news today, Frankie Ferocious out of the Eureka. And probably not surprising the way he went in Queensland is from reports he needs a throat operation.
Yeah, not surprising. His form's tapered. Look, the writing's on the wall for Frankie Ferocious in terms of early on he looked the one to beat.
Yep.
And then his form distinctively tapered. We don't know what – we now know that he's got a problem. But this is all good news for Never Ending. Never Ending is, to me, quite clearly the one to beat. $4 in some markets. Yeah. $3.50 I think.
$3.50 with Tab Touch.
Tab Touch. So, look, I think he's going to be hard to beat because the barrier draws for him, and we know he can't draw one because the mares get the advantage, but – he's the one horse in the field you wouldn't be too worried about the barrier draw.
No.
In the long straight there, when he lets loose, look at it last Friday night, how magnificent it was to make that ground up.
Yeah. Oh,
it's incredible.
Everything's going to plan, I think, which is good. Touch wood, it continues. Yep. The market for Tab Touch for the Eureka is Never Ending at $3.50. Don Hugo, who's got a slot, for Luke McCarthy at $5. Captain's Knock, who's in the Cordina slot, is at $8. High Above $9, has not got a slot yet. Mm-hmm. I Keep Smiling, who's Wayne Loader's slot, is at $11, along with Petrarca, who's at $11.
No slot Petrarca yet?
No, not yet. No. But his owner does own a slot. That's right. So, Danny Z. Lost Storm is at $11, who's in the Summit slot. Fighter Command got his slot last week through Tasmania at $11. Now, and Three Thinkers at 15 who's already got a slot. Now, really interesting racing coming up this weekend. At Menangle, Saturday night, we've got Doug's Platter for Kevin Bizzuto up against Petrarca for Emma Stewart, both looking for a slot. And later on the night, we got in the Norm's Daughter, Major Delight, who's pressing for a slot as well, up against Artie's Express, which will be a great race. Artie's Express will be a short price favourite there. And then in Melton, La Lost Storm's in the first race, and I think he really needs to do something to...
Sure.
It could be a bit dicey, I think, if he doesn't perform, that they might be looking for another slot, but he could come out and blow him away. And also, High Above goes around in race number 5.
Another one there's been a bit of a query on coming back this time in. Yeah,
he just doesn't seem a genuine racehorse at the moment. Does a lot of things wrong. Like he can break and do a few other things. His ring craft just isn't there. The ability's there, but whether his ring craft's there to beat the best horses that are 3 and 4 Australian bred in the Eureka is a different story. So really interesting coming through the news, particularly around Frankie Ferocious, and now there's 3 slots left. Kevin Seymour.
Yep.
Danny Z hasn't announced it, but as I said, owns Petrarca and obviously is got horses with Emma Stewart, so probably will be an Emma Stewart horse.
Right.
And now the TAB will be looking for a horse.
And they're going to be looking for an in-form horse. So this Saturday night's going to be critical, isn't it?
Big, yeah. And also you've got the Queenslander, Whisper a Secret, who won the Rising Sun, who hasn't got a slot. The second place getter got the slot.
Kevin Seymour.
Kevin Seymour's free thinker. He's in on Friday night.
Yep.
Saturday night. He goes around, but he's already got a slot, and he'll take the Hayden slot from Queensland. So,
yeah, that's right.
But really interesting, those 3 slots left, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is those couple of horses that are going around at Menangle.
Well, sometimes it pays to get in early, doesn't it? And in this situation at the moment, never-ending.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it. He can just do what he needs to do. He can go and work him, and
he's in form.
Yeah.
The other slot holders are looking for something to beat him.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. I think he is a deserved favourite. It was interesting. I heard a podcast from Queensland today, like questioning whether he should be favourite.
Oh, please. Yeah.
They just mustn't watch too many races, because he's certainly the horse to beat. There's some very good horses in the race.
Yep.
But I think he's a deserved favourite. The way that it's panning out at the moment.
Yep.
Be different if Frankie Ferocious was at his
for sure.
At his Chariots of Fire form.
And the Down by the Seaside one that was scratched early on. Yeah. The really top-class horse in the making.
The Seahorse, Extreme C.
Extreme C, superstar type.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's fallen away since those two were...
That was a big one.
Yeah, and they were equal favourites. They were, I think, 20 equal favourites at one stage, almost even money equal favourites.
Yeah, exactly.
And and the way they were going, particularly Extreme C, just burst onto the scene.
Yeah, it looked a star, didn't it?
Yeah.
Really, a bit unlucky there, but it's taken a bit away from the race, because it would have been great to see them all match up, But
once again, a lot of talk and a lot of media around the build-up to this race, because it's, people are vying for slots.
And there's the element of the Eastern States bias here, where
100%.
They're underestimating the West Australian horse in this case, but I think they're going to get a surprise when they see him.
Yes. Well, you know all about the underestimation of...
Yeah, well, it's always been the way, but they get taught a lesson eventually. Yes. Over the years that... I think the WA horses have proved themselves well and truly.
Michael Galanti used to have tours going around, and for the Sydney Inter Dominion, they used to have a function on like the Friday night or whatever. So he asked me to come and be on the panel with Bill Hutchinson and Johnny Dunn.
Yep.
And Johnny Dunn asked me whether I'm the Mighty Queen's just a flat track bully.
Yeah.
And I think I said something, well, you're about to find out.
Yeah. Well, Bill Hutchinson wants to slow burn.
Yeah.
But I think Bill...
No, we got Bill on...
He came on board eventually.
I think so.
Well and truly.
I think so, the great Billy. But those Victorians, they,
Yeah, look, mind you, in Quinny's time there were some great horses, wasn't there? Smoking Up, Mr. Feelgood, Black's a Fake later in his career when he met him when he's probably on the taper.
Yeah,
but he beat him 3 times at the end.
He met Lenny the Shark early.
Yep.
And Lenny the Shark clearly wasn't the horse that he was in Perth.
No.
In that Sydney.
But it was a great era.
Yeah.
Right now we got Leap to Fame and seems to have a class advantage over the rest of them.
Yeah.
It's only catch away probably, honest night with speed and everything, might be able to knock it off, but there's Swayze's the other one. Swayze's got the staying ability but needs to lead
Yep.
to have any chance of beating Leap to Fame. It can't come from behind him.
And he probably not the same horse he was 12
Possibly
months
not.
ago.
No.
I don't think he performed anywhere near he did.
No,
when
I
beating.
think that's probably true. Look, he had a long time off. Obviously, had a setback. He's something not quite right there.
Yeah.
Had that time off, and now he's come back okay. It was a good run the other night to run second, but when you're dealing with Leap to Fame, who's now a race fit horse, like he had the 4 weeks in a row racing,
Yeah.
it seems to have brought him to another
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
I think he's right at the peak of his powers.
Yeah, and be interesting to see because New Zealand haven't had a good like the free fallers that could compete over here, but they've got a great 4-year-old crop coming through from last season. That Merlin and
there's some
Don't
nice
Stop
ones.
Dreaming and all that. Be interesting to see whether they take the next step and start taking.
We'll
over.
find out of the New Zealand Cup, I guess. And
Yeah, which is going to be great because he's got to go over there.
he's going for that. Swayze probably go back.
Yeah,
The conditions of those type of races sometimes suits a horse like Swayze if they can lead.
yeah,
And if you've got an advantage in the handicaps, and Leap to Fame, we've not proven it stands yet, even though he's had one, I think, but didn't mean much. But if you can jump and lead and roll along in those races,
He'll
you can
just
be hard to
dominate.
beat.
Yeah, Grant will just go forward and dominate.
Well, you'd think he would. But, yeah, the 4-year-olds on the way up to like Minstrel, Merlin,
Merlin, yeah.
that type of horse could improve. They'll need to match Leap to Fame.
And good news that Andy's targeting the WA Pacing Cup with
Big news, great news.
with
And
Catch a Wave.
yeah, that very smart move by Andy. I think he's not really the type of horse you want to take around the Inter Dominion series, 3 runs and then the final. I don't think it necessarily suits. But if you can target races, Catch a Wave's got that speed.
Yeah.
And speed horses handle Gloucester Park.
Yeah.
Like he's come off the track and won.
That's right.
You can win from anywhere at Gloucester Park if you've got the ability and the speed, and he's got speed.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's going to be a big draw card for us. The interesting part about the Pacing Cup, Catch a Wave coming here, no Magnificent Storm, clearly has got injury issues as well, is how these 4-year-olds, they're going to be the new kids on the block, these 4-year-olds.
Well, the other thing is whether the 4-year-olds go in it because the Pacing Cup's mid-November and you've got all the big 4-year-old races sort of around it at the end of it.
They're going to be tempted, I think.
Yeah.
The money's good. Look, you've got never-ending.
Where is, because I'll do a market for the Golden Nugget because Tab Touch have a market for the Golden Nugget.
You've got never-ending coming back and you've got Mr. Smarty as well, or you can give us the market and tell us what's going on.
And I'll ask you about the Hall Runners because there's a couple in there. Never Ending's in the Golden Nugget, 250 favourite and deserved favourite.
Yep.
Mr. Smarty, 350.
Right.
Artie by the Seaside at $7.
Interesting
she's a 4-year-old
inclusion.
man.
Yep.
Sky Lose, $9.
Yep.
Then Hotly Pursued, 13. Rolling Fire, 14, along with I'm the Black Flash. Lusaka at 17, and then you start to get out to Sky Lord at 19, Man Down 20, Coney Island Lou at 26, along with All Is Well and Captain Bligh. Yep. So where is Mr. Smarty? Only came back, had 4 runs, I think, last campaign, then tipped out. Where's he?
Intentionally did that to prepare him for the Nugget, but we wouldn't rule out the Pacing Cup, given the fact that, well, if you really look at it, you've got Never Ending, which I believe will target the Pacing Cup as well, and I think they'll target the Pacing Cup and the Nugget, and you've got the other Hall horses, Sweet Lou Has Beaten, Never Ending, had the drop on it, but still got the job done. If these horses continue to improve, they may well measure up to fast class. Now, Gary wouldn't throw them the deep end as a 4-year-old unless he was confident that they were ready to do it.
Yep.
So we see how they come back. But I think given the status of the fast class horses at the moment, it's not what you call absolute star-studded. Like you've got a very even bunch of free-for-alls. Tinsic Bromex now joined that group as being a chance.
I'll give you the WA Pacing Cup market as well from Tab Touch. We've got Never Ending at $4.60 in favourite. Catch a Wave at $6. Magnificent Storm's in the market at $7.50. He won't be there.
No.
He's still in the paddock at the moment.
Yeah, no, he won't be there.
Laverajo, $8.50. Haven't seen him for
another interesting runner.
Minstrel at $8.50. Mr. Smarty, $9. Tenzing Bromac at $10. Montana DJ at $12.
Yeah, that won't be in it.
No.
I think it's got a miss, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Which too short for it anyway.
Yeah,
in a Pacing
for
Cup.
sure. You shouldn't be in the market.
Swing Band 15 with Jumpin' Jack Mac at 15. Sky Lou at 17 with Penny Tiger. Lusaka at 21. Tricky Mickey at 26 with Diego at 26, Mighty Ronaldo 26, Mighty Conqueror 31, George Lincoln 31, Ideal Agent 31. Then you start to getting out to some other horses.
So when you look at it, when they do the rankings are going to be interesting how they do the 4-year-olds.
Major Moth, $41.
Yeah, well, Grimson's got him now, so...
Yeah, who's going around in Queensland, but I think he's targeting the Inter-Dominion maybe with him. But it's surprising, someone might have had something because he wouldn't have been in the market unless someone's probably...
He's a horse that's shown a lot of early ability, but whether he'd come over here for that's another question.
Yeah.
He has had injuries, of course, too. But when you look at the rankings that'll come out, how the 4-year-olds are ranked will be very interesting.
Very interesting.
Because they're clearly up to that level. But normally you would want to go around in fast class races. There is a criteria, of course, and it'll be group winning races as part of the criteria for a start, plus your form in fast class and the win dollars and all that all comes into it. When you look at the Pacing Cup of the last year, Catch a Wave, obviously a standout, a Never Ending would be a standout, and then you've got the Tenzing, Bromwich, Minstrel, those type of horses, and you've got the consistent free-for-allers, Jumping Jack Max, right up to the top level. There's certain starters, aren't there, a lot of them?
Yeah.
So you're probably getting down to the last 3-4 positions, whether the 4-year-olds, if they show that form, you'd imagine that they'll be candidates for that race.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. Obviously, it's an early market. But yeah, some early markets there on Tab Touch if you want to go, and if you like one, have something on. Now, before we go to the break, this segment's brought to you by, and you won't believe this, but Retrovision's still going while Mortz is away, Silky.
You wouldn't believe it would be able to operate without Mortz.
It's still going. Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist. RAC members receive an additional 5% every day. You can go to stores at Joondalup, Cannington, they're all over the place. Ellenbrook, they're a great place. Retrovision for your white goods needs, TVs, everything. Go and see Retrovision.
You still get the discount with Mortz away?
Yeah, you get the
RAC
discount. The RAC members, yep. Just show your card and let them know you know Glenn Mortimer, and they'll look after you.
Beautiful.
Now it's time to take a break. We spoke about Tenzing Bromac, mate, and how good he's going.
Yes.
Look, Minstrels has been the best horse in the Bond camp for a little bit, but I think this horse is pressing to be the top seed.
Well, that's it. He's on the way up. Mitchell's had its issues, hasn't it? And we don't know where Mitchell is right now. I presume we'll see him soon, but that's going to be interesting in itself. But certainly Tenzing Bromac, the way Denny's talking, is number one pick.
Yeah, if he's not, he's very close, and he's going to be riding right up to his ears in these big races. As we go to the break, let's listen to Tenzing Bromac win the free-for-all last week.
Talks Up a Storm is getting up on the inside, then Steal the Show. Never Ending is thundering around the outside, but a mile away as they corner. It's all Tenzing Bromac, it's well clear. Over Talks Up a Storm. Never Ending will flash late, battling on Mighty Conqueror and also Steal the Show. But it is all Tenzing Bromac. It's going to walk in, and Tenzing Bromac races home to win from the fast finishing Never Ending, a super trial. Third Talks Up a Storm.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
On the third corner, Soradaro's got them stacked up, leads a metre. Vegas Strip sticks on. Hale St. Louis, what are the odds? No clear run. Wide out on the track, trying very hard. Deeper out is High Price in the straight though. Soradero the leader on the outside. Vegas Strip, what are the odds? Can't get out. It's Soradero in front. What are the odds? Clear late, too late. Soradaro's in front of what are the odds? And Soradero beat what are the odds? High Price has run third. Fourth Vegas Strip and flashing home up on the outside.
Yeah, that was the Higgins Memorial and Soradero, Silky. Once it found the front, going to be hard to beat. And it was a pretty good quality Higgins Memorial as well.
Very good. Aiden DeCampo, obviously aggressive driver. That's won him the race, and he said he's going to have a shot. He wasn't confident, but he indicated if he got a half to 3/4 in front, he'd go on with it. And we had what are the odds? Suffering from that barrier one, just running out a bit at the start, can't get momentum, cost it the race.
Yeah, sure did. All right. Now, this segment's brought to you by Steel Blue Boots. Built for comfort, made for work. Well over 700 stockists nationwide. Steel Blue Boots mark of true skill. You can view their range, and there's a lot of them there. Yeah, it's going to take you a while. Steel Blue Boots. Steel Blue, it should say. Steelblue.com. Steelblue.com. And this, actually, Ross Fitzgerald, he's in demand all over the country. Had Chris Barsby had him on the show.
Really?
On his show, Mobile Rolling Today on Queensland radio, and went for about 25 minutes.
Is that right?
And the first 5 minutes was Steel Blue. So
you got the plug in.
Yeah, and then he went through a little bit of AFL with him or waffle.
That's why he's such a successful businessman, never missed an opportunity.
And all these horses as well, but they're great boots.
Just an afterthought for the Steel Blue.
He's all excited, getting ready for Never Ending over there. But he's got a couple of horses in the Diamond Classic in Ruby Lavera and also Winter Wonder, him and Morts. So good luck to the boys
Absolutely.
On Friday night. We've had a week off, but we're back ready to find some winners. And on the line is Scott Bomber Hill. Bomber, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Rad. It's good to be back.
G'day, Bomber. Glad to have you back.
We
haven't spoken for a little while, just deputising for the great Morts today.
Yeah, you've been on the bench there for a while, but back into it again tonight.
That's it.
Doesn't look a bad meeting on Friday night, Bomber.
Yeah, there's some good quality around. I'm not sure we're going to get a whole lot of value on the night, but there's plenty of quality, that's for sure.
All right. Let's have a look at the first race we got to look at. It is race number 2. This is the Trots Group 1 winners pace. And no market up as yet on Tab Touch, but we've got Star of Willoughby drawn the pole. Dark Eyes looks hard to beat from barrier 2. Mike Reid for Shannon Savalco. Let It Linger's drawn 3, just like Turbo. Soho Gigolo. My Little Big Man. After a last start win is in 6 from Tobbs Farquhar, G. Smith and Lamandiere, and the 2 runners off the back line, Cloud9 and Chambray. Bomber, what are we going for in the second?
Yeah, I was pretty keen about Dark Eyes too, Rads. I thought he should be able to do enough to kick through and lead, and if that's the case, he'll take a mountain of beating. Last time he led from the same barrier, he held out a horse, a colt named Sue, and he's a pretty quick beginner. So I think despite there being speed outside, he can hold. And last time he did lead, he ran four sub 30 second quarters there and was narrowly beaten, but he subsequently came out, sat in the breeze and beat a similar field. So I think this could be the race for him from the right draw.
Any concerns at the start? It's a good beginner. I think it's going to hold the horses to outside. Any conceivable pressure? Maybe Let It Linger out of the gate, perhaps. Lamandier's drawn 9. Any other pressure you can see there?
Yeah, I thought there'd be a few to have a go, actually. But I think that could actually end up aiding Dark Eyes. They might just sort of stagger across a little bit because Let It Linger can begin quite well. I think it'll probably be marginally quicker than Dark Eyes. I can't see it getting a necessary margin in front, but that could help him kick through. And he's been able to sort of sustain those sub 30 second quarters in other races. So I think if he can get a breather through the middle, that should be enough.
Yeah, when it got beaten, it was by Rattle and Lily, who went incredibly big that night, but it still ran 156.6. You'd see that getting the job done here, wouldn't you, really?
I think so. And, and he does tick plenty of boxes. And the win after that was a really good win from the breeze. So, I think it's just going to be a case of that, leading into that first corner, and then we'll be on pretty good terms with this.
And black odds, I would have thought?
Think so. If it is red, it'll be only marginal.
Yep.
I'll be surprised if they don't come up black.
Yep.
How many units, mate?
Yeah, 3-unit bet to kick off, Red, so I'm pretty confident.
All right, 3 units. Race 2, number 2. To start the night off, Dark Eyes. All right, the next race we've got to look at is the free-for-all, race number 4. The Trots winners win free-for-all, and this is a good field. We've spoken to Ryan Bell about the code break. Their intention is to hold up as long as possible, and there might only be one horse they'll hand over to. Armour Einstein on his outside, Soho Down Jones, Jetstar. The Mickey Taker, who never runs a bad race, has got to be in the market. Steal the Show, good speed early. Tenzing Bromac, who's really a real chance in the WA Pacing Cup moving forward, and While They Pray. 8 across the front, 21.30 metres. Bomber, which way are we going?
Yeah, really like the way this bloke's come back, Tenzing Bromac, and I'm not sure what happens off the arm. I think they will go back and just sort of let it unfold, but he'll put himself into the race at some point, and he was outstanding when he ran second and Never Ending, doing all the work first up. And then last week he let it all unfold before rolling to the front at the 1400 and was never in doubt from there. And 56.3 last half. I think he'll either roll around to the breeze or he could even find the front if the Codebreaker wanted to hold the rest of them out early. Then he'll let this bloke roll past him, and I just can't see him beaten, to be fair.
No, it's a pretty comfortable selection, isn't it, when you've got a horse that can breeze and win? If he does lead, it's a bonus, but I think he can breeze and win myself.
Yeah, no, he's certainly got some bows to his or some strings to his bow. There's no doubt about that. And I think he's just a horse on the improve each and every campaign.
Yep.
All right. How many units?
We're going big. We're going 5 units. I'm not sure exactly what price we'll get, but I'm more than confident to back him. I think we get a better price as a result of the draw, probably, and that won't make much difference to him.
You mentioned $1.40 roughly, you would think, wouldn't you? Something like that.
I would have thought so. Yeah. Yep.
Anything over $1.40, keep charging.
Yep.
Right.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Time for a break. Now, Silky.
Yep.
Last week was remembering Brodie Kane Young.
That's right.
And also Genes for Genes Day. And wasn't it wonderful to see David and Sean Young
absolutely
take out a race with Infinite Sign?
And Richie tipped it to win too on the Gloucester Park preview, Genius. Yeah. And we all thought, yes, it can win if it leads. But Richie was the one that had the guts to go for it. And it was very, very great to see the result for the Youngs. Given the circumstances, it's a big moment for them.
Yeah, it sure was. It was great to have them on track, and great that Tanya and Garrards and were supporting them for Genes Day, and Infinite Sign for David Young. Aiden De Campo in the bike, which would have made it special as well. As we go to the break, here is Infinite Sign taking out the breaking for Brodie. Donate now, Division 1 pace.
This leader, Infinite Sign, to the turn. 28.2, leads by 3 metres. You won't let it linger out. Paul Edwards bailed away as well. Battling on the outside, Ideal Tomato, but he goes for Infinite Sign now. Infinite Sign has kicked away by 6 metres and is looking good from Let It Linger. Paul Edward coming late, but Infinite Sign's in front of Let It Linger and Paul Edward, and Infinite Sign goes home to win it. Infinite Sign from Let It Linger and Paul Edward.
There's always a lot more in store for you at Retrovision, like Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price on a same-stocked item, we'll beat it. There's our 60-day price promise, where we'll refund you 120% of the difference if you find a lower advertised price on any purchase. Plus, RAC members save an extra 5% every day of the year. After 60 years, a lot has changed, but there's still a lot more in store at Retrovision.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Artie by the Seaside in 28.7 has scorched away from Soho Seraphine with Sister Sammy out wider. Sister Sherry back on the inside and battling away is Sovrana in the straight though, and it's all Artie by the Seaside well clear over Soho Seraphine with Sister Sammy cutting it down now, but it's going to be easy for Artie by the Seaside over Sister Sammy and Soho Seraphine, and Artie by the Seaside wins it well by about 12 metres to Sister Sammy. A good run.
Yeah, she rolls through Artie by the Seaside. Too good, Silky. And, well, there's plenty of races for her to come up, isn't there? She can take a pick of the foil races, the mares races.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if she does the mare and the mares race and the nugget.
Well, you'd think she'd tackle the mares races first.
See how she's going.
Yeah, the Norm's daughter into the Mares Classic, the Westrel Mares Classic.
You would think that.
And then you've got the Golden Nugget.
Yep.
At the tail.
Sitting there for you. But she's run the times. Like Nullarbor night, she was quicker than the Nullarbor result on overall times that ran sensational, 154 something over 2,500 from memory.
And I did see
Nullarbor night.
I did see a market for the Westrel Mares Classic, and I'll quickly give it to you on Tab Touch before we get into Bomber. And tell you what, the top four, they're a pretty good top four as far as the horses go. We got Artie by the Seaside at 210, favourite, deserved. Steno at 650, Penny Black at $8, who's going around tomorrow night. Wonderful to Fly, $8, and then you've also got Cyclone Charlotte in there at $9. Then you start getting out to $15. But those 5 mares,
top class mares,
isn't it? Like coming down, and we get to see, like a Steno, Wonderful to Fly, drawn to lead, and then Penny Black and Artie by the Seaside having to do work. It's going to
Wonderful to Fly's in that market, was it?
Yeah, Wonderful to Fly is $8.
$8, yeah, okay.
But like they're 4 or 5 top quality mares. It's just a great race.
And gate speed there, Steno, we know, has got tremendous gate speed. Yep. You'd imagine Wonderful to Fly in this scenario would be the sniper.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be getting involved. But Artie by the Seaside, we haven't seen its bottom yet.
No, or probably Penny Black.
Well, that's true, yep. It's a very tough horse.
Yeah, both got good mares, but it's going to be a great race coming into the Mares Classic.
Absolute highlight.
Yeah. All right. This segment is brought to you by Loans 123, Car Loans, Debt Consolidations, or your personal finance. The man to see is Stevie Sell at loans123.com.au, or you can call 1800 100 100, and they are still doing the things the banks can't. And he's a great man, Steve Sell, and he'll look after you if you need any financial advice, even as far as to get your finances in order. All right, let's go back and have a look. We've got to look at the main race before we get Bomber back in, and this is the Trots in 2-year-old Diamond Classic, Group 2, $100,000 on offer. And we've got Better Get On Pip, drawn 1, open 225, touch 270 back into 265. Copperhead Lady, $3.90 into $3. They're the 2 favourites for Ryan Bell. We've got Bull Shark Betty, $17 to $8.50. Ruby Lavera at $9, been pretty solid. The same with Winter Wonder, about $14. Money Well Spent, $17. Queen of All, who went great in the heat, at $8. Ruea at $81. Rayonette, the winner of the Champagne Classic, is at $34 outside the front line. When you got inside the back line, we've got Jack's Ideal at $11, Swifty $34, and Swifty's other stablemate, Kinky, at $71. Bomber, this is a really good race. Already a couple of moves on Tab Touch with the market going up. Which way are you going in the Diamond Classic?
Yeah, it's a ripper race, Rads, but I was settled on a place bet. I really like the way Bull Shark Betty goes about her business, and while I'm not sure she can win here, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think she can definitely fill a hole with a little bit of luck early, and around that $2.80 the place at the moment. She's, on a night that's pretty hard to find value. I think she's a reasonable bet. She had no luck with the draws in a short career, and this is the lowest she has drawn, so hard to know where she gets to. We don't know much about her gate speed, but she looks a pretty versatile type, and I just love the way she puts her head down and tries, so I think she can be quite dangerous with a little bit of luck early. Yeah, pace on, she'll be dangerous, Bomber for sure. Just getting that little spot early is going to be critical for her, but she will be finishing off. The harder they go, the better. Yeah, it is 100%. I'm just hoping that the 2 sort of has a bit of a dip early. I know they won't be crucifying each other, the 1 and the 2, but just hope a nice little gap sort of unfolds there in behind the 2, and yeah, she can be really dangerous, I think, for the place. Hayden has to come out a bit, doesn't he, to hold his position, so the position on Copperhead Lady's back might be available. I'd imagine one of the apprentice horses, Winter Wonder maybe, Ruby Lavera's there as well. One of those might go forward, I'd imagine. Yeah, I think so. I think, hopefully they're just the bond runners will be looking to kick through as well, obviously from the back. So it could be tricky, but I really do like this little girl going forward. Sure.
All right, 280 the place. How many units?
2 units a place, Threads.
2 units a place at 280. And interesting, the 3 place getters out of the Sales Classic earlier this year have drawn 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, amazing.
In the Diamond Classic, and quite a few of the Sales Classic fillies have got through to this final for the Diamond Classic. So it's a really good race,
certainly is.
The 2-year-old Diamond Classic. And interesting, all the stablemates drawn alongside each other.
Yes.
Ryan Bell 1 and 2, Justin Prentice 4 and 5, Bond is 11 and 12.
It's an anomaly, or everybody talks about barrier draws and audits on barrier draws. I do know they've completed an audit on the barrier draw. They've gone right through it with a fine-tooth comb just recently.
Okay.
The results of that are about to come out, I think. which indicates that everything's been done by the letter of the law.
Okay, all right. But just the way that it's
amazing.
The way that it's shaken out for the group race, it's just quite amazing. All right, and let's get into the final race we're going to look at. This is race number 9, and it's the Paint the Pallet first up winner, and he won, God bless, his first in his debut on Monday. Silky, Paint the Pallet for Trots End.
Yes,
one
pretty
start,
good.
one win. Yeah, we bypassed the Pearl Heats to go there just because he's a little bit green, but getting ready for the Westbreds.
He wasn't bustled early either, and but late didn't find the line. I know it's moderate opposition. Long term, it looks like a player.
Yeah, no, he's got his ability. Just very green at this stage, and hopefully he progresses through, and we get him through to the Westbred finals, which are coming up, and the final on the September SIPs coming up. $215,000 on offer for the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, and $215 for the 2-year-old fillies. And
be nice to have one in it.
No doubt we're going to see a lot of these Diamond Classic fillies going around in that race. All right, but it is race number 9. Let's have a look at the field. We've got American Bullet drawn 1. Who's the dad? We spoke to Ryan Bell, and he was very confident about who's the dad and finding the front and being hard to beat. Soho Firestone in 3, Paraquat 4, Feeling Aces in 5. It's stablemate alongside of each other, Rock Me Over in 6, Sugar Apple in 7, and Ideal Tomato out in barrier 8. Bomber, what are we going in race number 9?
Yeah, well, I share Belly's confidence. I'm not sure what price we get, who's the dad, but I think it's his right race and draw, and I think he simply leads and wins. He's had zero luck since resuming in May, but he's ran very well in just about everything he's gone in, and he's had excuses all the way through. A huge driver change tomorrow night where he gets a very good gate driver, and I'm confident he just jumps in front and won't be relying on any luck tomorrow night. He'll just maintain sectionals that are too good for these, I think, and very confident he leads and wins.
And put the hood on to Ryan Bell just to make sure that the horse has got his mind on the job out of the gate.
Yeah, that's the key. Like he's a very good front runner. I think he could win this race, sitting off them anyway. But he's got a slow beginner inside him, and I think he'll just amble to the front, and that'll be the end of it.
You sound very confident. How many units?
Yeah, another 5-unit bet. Once again, I'm not sure we're going to get a particularly good price, but any price a winner, they say.
Yeah,
absolutely.
5 units for race 9, number 2. Who's the dad? And have you got a multi for us on the night, Bomber?
Yeah, there's 3 others that I'm super confident on, again, that are going to be fairly cramped, but I think the 3 of them might give us around the $2 mark, which we can be fairly confident about taking. So race 3, number 1, Crowd Control. He really does get his chance tomorrow night. He should lead, and I think that'll be the end of that. And race 7, number 4, Artie by the Seaside. She's just going to inject a very small percentage for us. And then race 8, number 1, Celesio Matuka. He should lead and win his race as well. So I think, we're going to go close to the $2 mark to multi those 3 up, and I really can't see any of them being beaten.
All right, 3-1-7-4-8-1 for the multi. And tell you what, we've been following Crowd Control this campaign, and
just can't quite get there.
So I tell you what, there's the difference between a small margin and a big result has been on the table a couple of times.
Twice he's looked the winner and at a decent price and hasn't quite been able to get there. But, this is really his chance tomorrow night.
It is a good race. We spoke to Ryan about it with what are the odds. But tell you what, it's almost a midi John Higgins Memorial final, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's there's some depth there, that's for sure.
Yeah, all right. Good on you, mates. We mentioned it off air, but Silky, you said you must have been very happy last week with your Bombers getting the money over Fremantle.
Yeah, it was a welcome return to some form, and hopefully they can take that into the last few rounds and sneak into the finals. And we might duck over and have a look at them. I haven't seen them in a final for a long time, obviously. So, fingers crossed.
And the West Coast are treading in an upward direction too, Bomber.
Oh, there's plenty of positives there, that's for sure.
Can't go backwards.
I saw them live a couple of weeks ago, and my boys think I've fallen in love with Harley Reid.
He's good.
He's something else. To see what he gets put through it as a 19-year-old in a game of footy is just phenomenal, and he just keeps bouncing back. He's one right out of the box.
Yeah, unless you're there live, you don't see a lot of it, but there's plenty of attention. Put it that way.
And
yeah, it's incredible. He just thrives on it. He just Yeah, most 19-year-olds aren't gonna cope with that sort of pressure, but it just makes him. He's obviously been playing against men for a long time now and bigger bodies, and it doesn't daunt him at all.
Put your checkbook away. We're not letting him go.
Yeah.
My Knights might even get a win in the NRL this weekend, Bomber, with playing the West Tigers. I took it as a win last week when we only got beat by about 10 by Penrith. I thought that was a real good result because they will be winning a 4th premiership in a row.
They're pretty good.
They're very good.
Yeah, so, that's it.
Anyway, it might give us something to cheer about on Sunday. Anyway, all right, mate. Thanks for your time. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you, Bomber.
Good on you, Scott Bomber Hill there, and he's very happy.
He certainly is.
After the last week's performance. Now, time to take another break here. Selkie and Otis.
Yep.
Jeez, it was a good race last week.
It was a good race, a pressure race, and beautifully timed drive by Dylan Edgerton Green.
Yeah, it was. There was pressure and coming around the turn, he balanced him up, Otis, and you thought, well, he's going to make a run. It's going to be interesting to see where he's going to get there.
He swamped him.
And he certainly did. It was a real good race. As we go to the break, here is Otis and Dylan Edgerton Green powering down the outside to get the cash.
Firestone, further back, Fire Rock, Fire Roll. Otis trying to run on. Navy Street battles on as well. Deeper out on the track, trying to unwind his strike team in the straight. And it's Armour X Factor and Acuto the inside. Acuto fights hard just in front. Armour X Factor coming at it. Acuto, Armour X Factor. And flying home is Otis all over the top. Otis gets up to win. Otis beat Acuto. 3rd Armour X Factor and 4th in the...
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Captain's Creek gone. 29 won the next quarter. Sebastian James in front of Como El Viento trying hard with Captain's Creek battling on. And then came Lou Moore back behind them. It's crunch time and also Captain Sterling. Sebastian James is clear though over the final stages. Great battle for the minors. Coming late, Captain Sterling. The other two are fighting on as well. Como El Viento and Captain's Creek. But on the line, it's a win to Sebastian James over the fast finishing Captain Sterling. Como El Viento.
Yeah, Captain James winning the second heat of the Pearl Classic there, defeating Captain Sterling. It was a double for Cat Warwick in the heats of the Pearl. Also Hold the Ammo won the 3rd heat, and we saw I'm Massimo just get the better of Express Party. They ran away from the rest of the field, although Late Piccola was a great run in that race as well. So as you said earlier in the show, Silky, probably all the big guns got through for this final.
Yeah, which is good. And when you look at some of those heats, wasn't the Sebastian James one competitive with Captain's Creek over racing outside the leader and still able to hang on?
Yeah,
you know, it was a terrific run. Like Captain's Creek long term coming out of that race, if it learns to settle, it could really develop into a nice horse. And having said that, though, Captain Sterling, Como El Viento, they all went good.
Yep.
Very impressed with Massimo. I'm Massimo. Very good drive, kept it balanced, got off the fence early. And when it pulled out, she let it balance up and then let loose and got
just
over Express Party really nicely, didn't it?
Didn't he just truck up outside her?
Did.
Went
like a horse with a big future and then Hold the Ammo and Fill My Pocket. That was the very slowly run heat and a dash home. Clever drive, Fill My Pocket. Outside the leader, they walked, dictated and ran second.
Yeah.
And actually got very close to the leader.
Massimo's actually bought out the nutrient sale in Melbourne, so they've paid up for the Pearl, but he won't be going around in the Westbred later on. Okay. So it'll be Pearl Classic and then Golden Slipper, I'd imagine. For
looks like Massimo. A Derby horse to me long term.
Yeah,
really nice.
He's
horse.
Continued to improve, hasn't he? So
Another sweet Lou.
Yeah, he's a sweet Lou. He was actually a gelding at the sale. They put him
Right,
as a
okay.
gelding, yeah. Now, this segment is brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, and Mort will be pining for his Mazda 6 sitting at home in his garage, wanting to rev it up and get out there. But he'll be back soon, a couple of weeks, Mort's, before heading over to the Eureka with Never Ending. But, Bayswater Mazda, sponsor of this program, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. All right, time to welcome in our country, provincial and also Queensland form expert in Oliver Cownie. Ollie, welcome to the program.
Hi, Rad. Hi, Glenn. Good to be back on.
Yeah, great to have you back after a week off. We got a big weekend of racing. Friday night, we got the 10 at Gloucester Park, the first, an early one at 4:45. On the same night, Bunbury's got 7 races, the first at 5:50. Then we head to Narrogin on Saturday night. There's 7 races there, the first at 5:18. And Pinjarra and Gloucester Park fields have just been released on Monday and Tuesday, but Ollie will preview them on Off the Pace on Monday morning, Ollie. But a big weekend of racing. Bunbury, Narrogin, have you got anything for us?
I do. We'll kick things off in race 5 at Bunbury. A little 2-bet play in this race. One's bigger than the other, more confident on the first one. Elsa May had a wide gate first up and was snagged back there. Never got into it behind Copycat Queen, who's I think is a pretty smart horse, and then was tucked away on the pegs last start, and once clear worked into it quite strongly. Think she can lead here over the mile. Should be extremely hard to beat. Not sure we'll get too big a price, but I think should just be leading and winning. Has a really good record leading. Hasn't missed a place leading, so goes well in that position. And then the second bet in the race was a really interesting one. It could just end up being a total donation, this one, but Dwayne, the old boy, gets a new trainer and driver in Corey Peterson. It might just be too tough for him, but I'm happy to have a little each-way bet on him as well. Sometimes the new camp can spark up those old horses, so I thought he was worth, a little play there, Dwayne.
All right, that's race number 5. An interesting Emily Savalco driving at Bunbury.
Yes.
On Friday night.
Got plenty of drives there.
Yeah, and looks to be hard to beat in a few. That's race number 5. You got another one for us?
I do. In race 6, this might just be a multi-builder for us. He's Sam. I thought he was good first up, leading and winning. First up for 6 months there. Good effort, showed great gate speed, and then did the exact same the next start. Zipped off the gate, led, and really never looked in doubt. Vinny Star got onto his back there, and he was the one that probably looked the danger, turning for home, but was no match. And Vinny Star's come out and beaten Pasquale at Pinjarra, who looks a pretty nice horse as well. So that all looks pretty good form for this race. And I think from the inside gate, Sam can lead and win again.
And Vinny Star certainly franked that form, no doubt.
You're in Pasquale, are you?
Yes, much to my detriment, that race. Last leg of the all-up. Ollie got me there,
no.
well and truly.
All right, that is race 6, number 1. Well, I think we'll get the 280 from that was posted on Harness Web, but it's, as Ollie said, might be a multi-builder. Then we head to Narrogin on Saturday night. 7 races, as I said, the first at 5:18. What do you got for us?
This one also might be fairly short. Franco Mecca has been racing super recently, placed 2 back in a Metro stand behind Karana and Rock Artist before. Another really good effort behind Rock Artist after galloping away in a stand. Gets back to the mobile here. Last time, Elucifer had gate 1, this same distance, elected to take the trail on 7 no trumps there. So I think if similar tactics are adopted in this one, then Franco Mecca should roll straight to the top, and from there, it's hard to see how he gets beaten the way he's been going recently.
All right.
Love the $2.10 if you can get it.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? I think it's a multi-builder again, that one.
All right, and another one for us at Narrogin? Or
Yeah, and this might be the second leg of our Narrogin multi. Pecunious has been racing really well recently. 3rd behind Prince of Pain, 2 back. And then was making really good ground late behind Miss Hepburn, who's pretty classy. One thing this time in that she's really added to her repertoire is gate speed. She started getting off the gate really good. So I think she should be able to hold the advantage here on push button rock in the early stages and potentially work to the top eventually. And if she can work to the top, then around Narrogin should prove extremely hard to beat there, I think.
Michael Young might have a pretty good night at Narrogin. He's got a big hand to play there.
And our man Eddie Birchall owns Precunious.
That's right.
Yeah, and he loves it when we tip his horses, so he'll like that one.
Have you got any shares in any of those going around?
I've got shares in Chillin,
I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Race 2, number 7.
So
left us out there.
he
Thanks
was
very much.
sort of a horse that I think Michael had a decent opinion of and probably still does, and he just didn't quite come back as good as we'd hoped. So he tipped him out for a little bit of a freshen up, and he's come back, and he thinks he's sort of found a little problem that was maybe holding him back a little bit. So expecting him to go pretty well from there. It's a bit of an awkward draw, but hopefully Shannon can work away at the right stage and be hard to beat.
We had to drag it out of you. But,
You're all over it, Silky. So we've got Bunbury and Narrogin Friday, Saturday night. Have you got anything for Albion Park for us on a Saturday night?
I do. In race 5, obviously the carnival's finished, so slightly lower quality racing, but it's still a really good card. In race 5, the Division B of the qualifying pace, it's a horse here I think is going better than his form suggests. Rock of Delight. He's really far away, and he's had about 8 starts at the Hutchinson stable and barely missed the placings. He has a bit of an awkward draw here, so I think he'll get back in the early stages, but generally that's his racing pattern, and he doesn't have much gate speed anyway. So he had the outside back row draw last start over the mile, and they ran along the whole way, and he just couldn't get into it until really late, and when he did, he flashed home and hit the line really hard. So I think he's better suited to 2100, and I think potentially Bo Duke might be the leader, and he's probably a bit of a weaker horse than has been leading in the races that Rock of Delight's contested recently. So if he can get a track up into it, he should be really hard to beat, and I think he'll be each way odds for us.
All right, race 5, number 5, Rock of Delight. Interesting to see that Jason Grimson's still there and Jack Callaghan's driving at the meeting as well.
Yeah, and he's got a few really interesting runners there, obviously, with in the main race, in the open race, they've got Curly James, who was really impressive. And then in race 6, the really interesting runner is Major Moth, who obviously was so promising early on in his career and has sort of had a few injury concerns and problems over time, but came back last week and was just unreal, really. 152 for the 2100 is incredible time. That's sort of pretty much Grand Circuit sort of time. So real eye catcher and one to follow there, Major Moth, I think.
Yeah, I think his record's pretty good. It's like 14 of 29, but he's been injury plagued.
Yeah,
like
very good horse.
Yeah, I think was he Australian 2-year-old of the year? I think he might have been. In
Not
his
100%,
season,
but really classy.
And interesting that Jack's also opted to drive Major Moth over Sia Art in that race as well, from the same stable, who had a bit of a rap when it first came over from New Zealand as well. So,
yes, it did.
So interesting racing still up there at Queensland, including Luke McCarthy's got a couple in there with Ricky Thurlow driving. So, still good. Some good racing going around. Obviously, Ollie, you're paying close attention to the contenders for the Eureka that are going around at Menangle and Melton as well.
Oh, definitely. It'll be a great race, and I really hope for WA that Never Ending can get the job done. But even though the field's fallen away a little bit, I think there's still a lot of quality in there. I know a horse in Queensland at the moment that doesn't even have a slot went absolutely incredible behind Major Moth last week in Sure Thing Captain. He sat outside the leader in the 152 mile raid and wasn't beaten far at all. So if someone was to pick him up in a slot, I think he'd be really competitive in the race. And there's a whole host of others that could be real contenders.
Where was he in the mark? Around $10, was he? Sure Thing Captain?
No, he was. He's down a little bit further.
Down
than
for that?
Yeah, but
okay.
he also got Whisperer Secret from Queensland, who hasn't got a slot, who won the Rising Sun.
I think with Whisperer Secret, he won the Rising Sun, but it was probably a weaker Rising Sun. A horse like Blazing Home was probably inconvenienced in the race. I thought he was good, Whisperer Secret, but then he led last start and was pretty disappointing. So I sort of feel like he wouldn't be out of place getting a slot, but maybe Sure Thing Captain would be the better of the Queensland contenders potentially. I think Whisperer Secret he's a good horse, but maybe not quite on the Eureka level for me, but he could come out and win it and surprise everyone.
Exactly. Either way, it's going to be a great race. Mate, thanks for your time as always. Hopefully we've found a few winners and we'll speak to you next week.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Ollie.
Good on you, Ollie Cownie. He'll be back Monday morning, 9 a.m, to talk to Timmy Walker and the team.
He will do.
Previewing Pinjarra and Gloucester Park Monday, Tuesday. And you'll be back tomorrow morning.
Back tomorrow morning. We've got Michael Young on tomorrow morning with Aidan De Campo as our special guest, very important guest tomorrow.
Yeah, both.
And previewing that meeting will be a lot of fun. If we've got the prices up, which I think they should be up by 8 o'clock, let's hope anyway, we can really get our teeth into it.
8 a.m. For the Retrovision Gloucester Park preview. Yourself is Trent
and Richie, I'd say. Matt's a couple of weeks away, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Be good to have Matt back when he gets back.
I think Trent's got a little week off here and there too, but I think Matt might be back when Trent's away. I'm not sure.
And, of course, Richie found Infinite Sign last week. So
very, very good selection in a wipeout for the for the panel.
Indeed. All right, mate, thank you for coming in. We might see you over the next couple of weeks. We'll
see
chat
what happens. Yeah, no
see
problem.
If we'll talk to your management and see if we can. See if we
your
work
people talk
out.
to my people.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if we can work something out. Mate, thanks for your time. And
not a worry.
Hopefully we found a few people some winners. Thanks to Ryan Bell for coming on. Always great. Of course, Bomber and Ollie. Thank you for listening. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.